Good morning or good evening or wherever you're at. Welcome to YouTube Time with Madison Christine. Today, you guys, I want to talk about this whole concept of what really is healing. What is growth? What is this thing? We hear these words flying around, and I like to ground these things. So, first of all, I also want to look at what's the misconceptions around this. Once we understand some of that, it can also alleviate what contributes to suffering, and a lot of suffering, okay? So let's start with the concept. Okay, I'm going to name this person. So sorry if this is your name. So let's call it Split Sally. We're going to look at a bit of the shadow side of the spiritual, religious, even psychological world. So this person talks up here and is like, love and light. Everything is perfect and okay. And we're just going to stay up here and we're going to ignore all of this, the body, the feelings, the human experience, the soul, the earth. Are you guys sinking down with me? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and often, truly, that person who's split up there, there's repressed trauma somewhere in there. And our world, you guys, we see it all over in male and females. People even worshiping that whole thing. And I don't know about you, but I want to punch walls. When here I am deep and my feelings are deep in, and someone just says, just love and light. Oh, don't be angry. So you guys, our feelings. My brother said this when he was so young. I'm going to give you credit, bro, JP. God, I think he was maybe 7 or 8. And he said, God gave us feelings to feel. That was one of the coolest things of wisdom I ever heard. And yeah, think of that. You guys, I know for me, and remember, I was a pastor's kid. I've healed years and years and years of trauma in order to come into this body, in order to share, which I'm so grateful for. And I want to bring hope to any of you that may feel like you'll never get out of whatever you're in. You really, really, really can. You really can. Did I just say that? So, but the deal is this. I know, I can mark the place in my process of maybe 5 years ago when it hit me so hard. I was like, oh my God, the more human I become, the more authentically spiritual I am. And to me, being spiritual doesn't mean you have to have I don't want to put anything down because everyone has their ways, has some elaborate practice. It just meant being in touch with my feelings, being okay with swearing every word in the book. Because our human experience, basically, we have to do that to get through it at some point. And then add being a woman, in middle age. We'll go there in a minute or a few minutes. So, you guys, I just want to shout out respect to this human process, what that entails. And here I am with the label therapist. And there's this old paradigm in the psychology world that is still working itself out. And that is that we diagnose people with anxiety issues and depressive issues when, think of this other perspective. I like to be in the new energy, the new frequency, the new paradigm. What if all your anxieties and depressions, that's just part of your human experience? There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Think about it. We look at nature, how nature works. Wind blows when it blows. Mama Earth is going to put out a hurricane when that happens. It's just nature. That's what we are too, you guys, if we could just respect that and connect and harmonize with that. I know I have experienced everything from despair to terror to rage to all of it. And the more I learned how to relate to my feelings is when the oxygen in my body started moving. We get trapped, we get addicted when we're not choosing an awareness around energy and how it works and how it flows. We become dangerous to ourselves and others, you guys, when we don't get onto this and respect our bodies, our feelings. That to me is truly the spiritual practice in my life. is honoring those. Our feelings are like our children. If we don't listen to them, they will either go into a deep, deep repression, and that can turn into somatic issues. It can turn into suicidal, homicidal issues. I mean, you name it. Repression can get really scary. Or the child will go into acting out to the aggressor and turn into that monster. And what's going on there? A reflection of a family system, caregiver system, ancestry. So if we can just pull the shame out of all of it, give it one big freaking enema. I mean, seriously, let it all come out, right? Now, I say this like it sounds so easy. Now, coming from trauma, again, I have such a sensitivity there. So any of you listening, if you do, your body has an intelligence. Our bodies are intelligent, and they know when it's safe to come out with the truth and whatever it is. It can take years, especially from sexual trauma. But, any form of the trauma, I don't want to hierarchy any of that. So also, just respect your timing and your process. And when you are there, I highly advise seeking someone who has been there, a professional, or it doesn't have to be a therapist, a mentorship, whatever that is that can work with you in that, to feel safe enough to get to those feelings. I know it took me quite a process of therapy and body work and all of that to feel safe to come into that. So it's a process that really requires, here's the word, a lot of patience. Yet the benefits are just beyond. The rewards, what are the rewards of healing? What does healing look like? So we had Split Sally that, is perfect. Don't be sad. No, dangerous. What is healing really? Coming into the body, feeling the richness of life. I know love finally means something in my cells. I can tell you personally what it is to me. There's a maturity that happens and a self-respect and a trust in the process. I know at this point I can experience and visit any feeling that comes up and say, hey, what's up? And give it love. Some feelings are easier than others. I'm not saying it's always easy, because it's not. It's not perfect. I think that we can see a lot of YouTubes or people that might present as you're like, what's wrong with me? Because they always come across so perfect. That's not the case. Let's look at nature. But there is a sense of having relaxed more, learning how to flow and harmonize with the feelings, learning that feelings move like energy. So as we learn how to relate to our feelings, as we find our respect, life truly changes. I'm speaking from experience, from having been stuck in terror, okay? And all my respect wherever you are at, remember it's maturing you. It really is. It creates a soil that I literally can't describe it. And a peace happens. At least, again, that's my experience, and I've seen it in others. So let's do a respect to all these feelings. I'm telling you guys, I have worked with the most incredible souls and human beings, from kids, teens on up, whose, bless their hearts, parents are freaking out because these kids are maybe suicidal, or there's anxiety, major spikes of anxiety and depression, and it can feel out of control. I love these humans. You are, whoever's listening, evolvers. You are connected. You are here to help change the frequency on this planet. Any of you who have been able to sit in despair and anxiety, and you younger ones coming in, it gets my heart, are so in tune and connected. You are leaders to us. So hold on, and you will get through it. Just remember, there's nothing wrong with you. It's the opposite. There's everything right. It's just learning how to be with that and flow with that. We're getting out of that old paradigm where we have to fix it. It's actually here to teach us. How do I know? It's teaching me. It's expanding my life. I've never been in more joy and more peace. So that's why I bring this medicine, right? And I want to share one quick story before I close this, because I want you all to know my vulnerability and my humanness. So I'm in freaking middle age, right? I'm proclaiming that shit. All you women out there, or however you define yourself. This last weekend, I was right before my cycle. Sorry if that's TMI, but yeah. And I had fucking tech rage. God knows where that was really coming from. I wanted to smash the F out of my freaking computer. I really did. I really did. Okay. So we can all laugh at this. With all my experience, I was witnessing myself. And there's a part of me laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh my God. I kind of wanted to start a support group for all us women that go through these different hormonal stuff and our circuitry is changing. Just all respect to the process. You wonder why a lot of middle-aged women actually split and end up on meds or whatnot, or not, and even it can go really south, is because again, no judgment to anyone who's hearing this and may be in that situation. We're in an evolution right now, excuse me. So I was thinking to myself, if I hadn't, done the work and loved on myself, I would have been a loony bin, I swear to God. So just a little vulnerability out there. I love you guys. We'll end on that story. And I'll meet you all on the flip.